Thank you so much, Mr. Raymond. Good evening, Mr. Ambassador. Good afternoon, Mr. Adli, my colleague in BRI, not the Belt Road Initiative, but Bank Rakyat Indonesia in Hong Kong. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for having us today, and I'm glad that Ambassador for Zimbabwe also here to join us. Let me share my screen. Okay, there you go. Okay. Today I will touch on four major issues. They are the omnibus law that has been also mentioned by the ambassador, and then I will also talk about a little bit on the next slide. On the Indonesia Investment Authority and Infrastructure and Climate Investment Climate. Next slide. The Indonesia government realized that having strategic and comprehensive partnership with its partner nation would also entail by necessity to upgrade its capacity to live up to the spirit of partnership. And as part of that efforts, the government of Indonesia aims to improve Indonesia's investment climate, create more jobs, opportunities for the Indonesian, as well as enhance Indonesia's SMEs and private sector's collaborations. And for that purpose, the President Joko Widodo has signed the job creation law. The Indonesian government hopes that the ratifications of job creation law is able to deliver positive message for both domestic and foreign investors and accelerate direct investment realization in Indonesia. Having discussed about the trade and investment and job creation law, the most pertinent question would be then how the job creation law relates directly to foreign investment context. The answer is simple. The job creation law is not merely a law on job creating. It is an effect, a groundbreaking law that supersedes no less than 77 existing laws and regulations. It effectively ends previously cumbersome regulatory framework into a simple yet robust one. It is also aimed to create a robust and effective economy. In other words, the job creation law creates a converging momentum beneficial for both Indonesia and investors. And earlier this year, President Joko Widodo signed presidential regulations on investment business activities. This regulation forms derivative regulations of the Omnibus Law. The regulations 2021 repeals previous presidential regulations, which is 2016 and 2007 on criteria and requirements for the formulations of closed and conditionally open business fields in the investment sectors. The 2021 regulation consists of 13 pages only, so it is an easy undertaking to go through the regulations and highlight the important points, particularly the changes it brings to the existing environment. Article 2, the 2021 regulation stated that all business fields in Indonesia are open to direct investment. involving domestic and foreign investment, except for one business fields that are declared closed and activities that can only be conducted by the central government of Indonesia. Regarding point one, we are referred to the Omnibus Law on Job Creation, which mentions the 6 business fields that are completely closed for investments, namely narcotics, cultivation and industry of class 1 narcotics, all forms of gambling and or activities related to casinos, fishing of species listed in Appendix 1 of the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, utilizations or the taking of industrial chemicals and industry ozone depleting substances. Article 2, the activities that can only be conducted by the central government of Indonesia states that it involves activities related to national security and defense. While Article 2 regulates 4 business fields that are open to direct investment. They are priority business fields, allocated business fields, or partnership with cooperatives and or the micro, small, and medium enterprises, business fields that are open with certain requirements, and business fields that are not included in the 3 above business fields. Priority business fields fields that falls under the priority business fields meet the following criteria, which are national strategic program or project, capital intensive project, labor intensive project involving high technology, pioneering industries, export oriented, or focus on research, development, and innovations. There are 245 business fields, which consists of 183 business fields that can obtain tax allowance, while 18 business fields can obtain tax holidays. Partnerships with Indonesian SMEs or cooperatives. Regarding the Indonesia's MSE and cooperative, there remains a range of business fields that are allocated to the SMEs and cooperatives, implying foreign investors. The businesses are those that do not use technology, or at the most a very simple technology, those related to certain regional or national cultural traditions. Capital of the business activities that does not exceed 10 billion Indonesian rupiah, or $715 US. And however, there are also business fields that are open to big enterprises, including foreign investors, provided they engage in partnership with local cooperation. It involves mostly undertaking to the big business supply chain. While the business fields are closed or open under specific requirements, business fields that are can be undertaken by investors, including foreigners. That a number of business fields closed or partially closed to foreign investment has been cut drastically to 46 business fields from previously 350 businesses, and thus opening up investment opportunities for foreigners significantly. In some cases, it is not allowed for foreigners to start an enterprise in a specific business field, but it is allowed to inject capital at a later stage into a company active in that specific business field. For example, newspaper and magazine publisher. Business sectors that remain completely closed to foreign investment are traditional medicine industries, properties made entirely from wood, handicraft, traditional cosmetic industry, batik shirt, certain snack industries, and spiritual journeys, umroh haji services industry. Article 4 of the 2021 regulation also states that foreign investment is excluded from the ownership of cap rules in case of the investment was already carried out prior to the release of regulation of 2021, or in case there exists a special agreement between Indonesia and the country where the foreign investment originates from. Moreover, in case of merger or acquisitions, the cap of foreign ownership is in accordance with prevailing regulation at the time of the agreement. And that's a little bit on the omnibus law, on the positive and negative investment list. The regulation is indeed another step in the right direction to create a more conducive investment environment. And while the famous negative investment list has become a thing of the past. And next, please. Next to Indonesia Sovereign Wealth Fund. As has also explained by the ambassador earlier, I would also like to touch on the Indonesia's investment authority, which we call INA, INA. The INA was established in the mid-February 2021 and has finally, Indonesia has finally our own sovereign wealth fund. And perhaps some will assume that the COVID-19 crisis has sped up the decision to establish this sovereign wealth fund. It is important to mention that talks about Indonesian sovereign wealth fund has been going on much longer. In fact, the legal basis for INA or sovereign wealth fund is set in the country's omnibus law on job creation that was passed October 2020. The creation the COVID-19 crisis, as the investment activities of this fund are much more long-term in nature. Nonetheless, it may encourage some risk appetite in the capital markets as the sovereign wealth fund foster the development of more stable Indonesian economy in the long run. In Indonesia, Finance Minister Ibu Sri Mulyani, who is ex officio chairman of Indonesia Sovereign Wealth Fund, stated that the fund started its activities immediately per mid-February 2020 with its first activities involving meeting prospective partners. The minister added that the fund obtained approximately $2.2 billion in cash injections in 2020, while later this year it can expect to see the injections of three key regulations: omnibus law, the regulations 2020 on the start capital of Indonesia Sovereign Wealth Fund, and then the government regulations on Indonesia Sovereign Wealth Fund. Based on the regulations above, tasks and objectives of the Sovereign Wealth Fund are managing, planning, organizing, monitoring, and controlling public investment, and as well as optimizing the value of the investment. In its activities, the fund is fully free to engage in partnership with investment partners, investment managers, state-owned enterprises, government agencies, institutions, or other entities at home or abroad. It can also loan or borrow from third parties. Indonesia President Joko Widodo earlier quoted that the fund will have a strategic position within the structural economic development of Indonesia and will optimize the value of state assets while offering an alternative in terms of financing of Indonesia's economic development. He added that the investors, both domestic and foreign investors, will have more confidence to invest in Indonesia if they can team up with a strategic partner. Next slide, please. These are the main key sectors of the fund: infrastructure, digital infrastructure, logistics, healthcare, renewable energy, waste management, consumer technology, and tourism. And next. The director for the fund said a number of toll road projects managed by state-owned construction companies, Waskita Karya, Wijaya Karya, and so on, will offer to prospective investment partners of the fund, and these toll road projects are prioritized as they are estimated to trigger to multiplier effect in the Indonesian economy and society. These are the reasons why foreign investors should start investing in Indonesia's Sovereign Wealth Fund. And up until 2024, Indonesia will need more than 460 billion for infrastructure development. And while the government fiscal and sector capacity can only provide less than or around 250 billion, which left a financing gap of 245 billion. Infrastructure investment is in a fast-growing Indonesia economy will offer attractive risk adjustment returns for investors. And there are also opportunities to invest in existing assets or new assets, green and brownfield projects. Next. President Joko Widodo, right from the beginning of his presidency in late 2014, made a new approach to tackle the nation's growing infrastructure deficit, especially in urban centers of the densely populated of Java. One important decision was to cut the fuel subsidies that the Indonesian government had been given over the past decades. Part of the funds that were freed up by slashing energy subsidy spending went to the central government infrastructure investment budget. And it was an effective strategy as state-owned enterprises tend to have bigger assets compared to the privately held companies. While infrastructure development was on top of the agenda of the in the first presidency of Mr. Joko Widodo administration, attention to his second administration has shifted to improve the skills of the nation's human resources. However, based on the central government infrastructure budget, investment in infrastructure will persist in the years to come, with the budget rising possibly towards approximately 34 billion US dollars per year. However, the sudden outbreak of COVID-19, which requires heavy spending on social assistance and health program, may disrupt the government focus in the 2020 to 2021 period. For the 2020, the government's infrastructure budget was raised to approximately 28.4 billion, up around 5% from the budget in the preceding year, with again roads making up most of the development ambitions. Next, these are the government-led priority infrastructure development plan for 2020 to 2024. Toll roads still the priority with 2,500 kilometers, and then national roads, bridges, flyovers, dams, irrigations, houses, and borders. Next. This is the Trans-Sumatra toll road. Possibly the biggest project in terms of toll roads is the Trans-Sumatra toll roads. This road will have a total estimated length of 2,878 kilometers when completed. The largest obstacle of this project is financing its development. We need a total of 500 trillion, approximately 34 billion US dollars. So far, the government only have 113 trillion made available via bank loans, funds from the central government, state budget, and capital injections. The Indonesian government aims to complete the Sumatra toll road by 2024, which is the final year of President Widodo's term. Next. Mr. Raymond, earlier you asked me where Hong Kong in Indonesia's investment scene, and on the half for the half of 2021, Hong Kong is in the number 2 with 2.3 billion US dollars, and followed by China and Netherlands and South Korea. Next. These are the sectors: still housing, industrial estate, and office building. And next, the locations. Next, the locations are still in West Java, Jakarta, and East Java. Next. And I think that's all. If there are any questions that I can't answer, I think Ambassador Sastrawan, who was in Hong Kong, could help me to answer the questions. Thank you so much.